Say it. You are correct.
Hello, listeners. It's me, David Blaine. I'm a special guest this week on the Everything is Fine, Nothing is Ruined podcast. Joining me is regular host Tristan.
Yeah, it's me, Tristan. David Blaine? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Your friend Hassan told me you wanted to see a magic trick, so I brought a couple for you.
Oh, okay. What do you got for me, David Blaine?
For my first one, I want you to think about a card in your head.
Okay.
All right. Now, I want you to pull out your phone.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Great. Next, you're going to want to call your doctor and tell them you need a CT scan and surgery between your fifth and sixth vertebrae because there's now a playing card wedged in between them.
Oh. Boo. Isn't that deadly?
Not to me. No.
Not to you. Well, isn't that deadly to anybody else that's not you?
Not if you get the surgery. You'll be fine.
Okay. That seems like a threat, but okay. Okay, David Blaine. That's a great trick. I will schedule that CT scan and surgery soon. Thanks, buddy. Do you have any other tricks for me?
Well, I didn't really... I can come up with an... All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen an audience member disappear?
I mean, I have been to a couple magic shows where that's happened, but not fully disappear. They came back eventually.
Yeah. No, they're in one place on the stage and then they're in the audience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Let me ask you another question.
Okay, yeah.
When did you last see your girlfriend?
A couple hours ago. Minutes ago.
Like how many minutes?
Minutes,
Great.
yeah.
Because you're going to want to now book a ticket to Manila and bring her passport to her.
Did you kidnap my girlfriend and take her to Manila?
I didn't kidnap her. I just transported her to Manila.
Okay. We got to talk about boundaries.
That's the point of the trick. There are none.
No,
I couldn't send her anywheres.
No, I mean social boundaries, as in maybe you shouldn't just invade people's private spaces, aka my body or my life, to do a magic trick. It's cool that you're doing these tricks, but I mean, I didn't really ask to be, my life to be in danger or my girlfriend to be taken to some other country. I mean, you could have just not. That's all I'm saying.
Well, how about one last trick, and then I guess I'll just leave.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's classic, but how do you feel about people getting sawed in half?
I feel that this is a trap. I feel like if I say I like these tricks, you might just fucking saw me in half. But I'll bite. Yeah, that's a fun trick. It's a classic. You tuck your legs up in a box. It's a whole thing. No. There's no tucking legs. I literally separate the person in half, and then they just have two semi-sentient body halves. How exactly?
Well, it's magic.
Yeah.
Anyways, you should go visit your mother soon.
Did you saw my mom in half?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm calling the cops. I'm calling the police. 100%. I can't deal with this. I'm calling the police.
What are they going to do?
Probably shoot you on
Magic.
sight. Okay, well, fuck, that's true.
I can
You're
just
magic.
turn their bullets into flowers.
Damn it. Really?
Magic.
Oh, shit, dude. Okay, well, I didn't know that. Well, okay. Damn. Well, okay. Look. We got other things to do, David Blaine. Like, you can hang out here if you want to, but I honestly, I'm feeling a little violated. Maybe fuck off somewhere.
Okay, well, sorry, I thought you liked magic. That's what your friend told me, but
Yeah, I do
I
like
guess
magic.
not all.
I
Go
don't-
find a new audience who appreciates it.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. Yeah, go find a better audience besides me. Sure, yeah.
All right, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, hey, Tristan. What? I just saw David Blaine leaving. Did he already finish all his magic tricks? He sounds like he maybe didn't bring many.
No, he brought a lot.
Oh, okay.
Brought a lot of magic
I
tricks.
guess I'm just later than I thought I was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so apparently I need a CT scan to remove a card from my body. My girlfriend might be in Manila because he kidnapped her. And then also he sawed my mom in half and made both separate parts of her body sentient.
Look,
I think bringing David Blaine on the
still
show...
sounds better than if like Penn and Teller had showed up. So
I don't think so at this point. I'm pretty sure that Penn and Teller could do less harm to my life than David Blaine could.
okay,
Pretty sure.
Sorry, I thought I was gonna get a cool magician for you, but it turns out someone's a bit of an ingrate, making things awkward for us to talk about magic and magicians now.
I love magic and I love magicians. Just David Blaine can... Well, now I guess. I used to like him, but now he can go suck an egg. There, I said it.
All right, well, I guess that means we don't have a topic, huh?
No, we still do. You're not getting out of that easily.
Great.
Yeah.
Great, so we're talking about magic, so I guess what's your favorite is that what I'm supposed to ask? I'm not sure here.
Well, we're talking about the Magic Order. Hassan, do you
Yeah,
like
no,
comic
they have
books?
like that house in California or whatever, and you have to be a magician to go watch it. I know all about this.
Sort of. It is kind of like that place.
Oh.
Sort of. Not actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean...
I don't actually know about the Magic Order.
Oh, okay. Well, do you like comic books?
No, they're for nerds.
Okay. Well, do you like the idea of comic books?
Comics involve reading, right?
Typically, yes.
What if they were movies instead?
Well, there will not be a movie version of this, as far as I can tell.
Shame.
Yep.
Because, all right, have you heard about this thing called Marvel? Okay, they
I
took
have.
comics, but they made them good
What?
movies. A lot of them.
Wait, they made comics good? Holy
I know,
shit.
it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Wow. Okay. I gotta watch these movies.
Even as a joke, I can't suggest that.
Yeah.
No, but seriously. So, the Magic Order comic series.
It's a comic series. So
Let's hear the details of it.
yeah. Okay. Let's. So
Who, what, when?
who, what, when? So written by Mark Millar. First off,
Sorry,
So-
Millar or
Millar.
Miller?
Millar.
Like, how are we spelling that?
Millar.
Okay, all right.
He's
Weird.
He's a pretty big name in comics.
He's
Um,
spelling his name wrong, but okay, sure.
He's whatever. With art by Olivier Coipel. Olivier Coipel, Stuart Immonen, Gigi Cavanago, and Dyke Ruan. All great artists. No issue there. 10 out of 10 art in this book, guys. Keep it up.
Sounds like a backhanded compliment. Go on.
No, the art's actually extremely good in this book. We'll get there, but I got a bit of a bone to pick with this comic because I want to like it. I want to like it a lot. It's just it's the messy bitch of comics in a very similar way that Young Justice, the cartoon.
What?
Yeah.
Boy, that's invoking something.
Yes.
So how? I guess I shouldn't say how long. When did this comic start, and how many issues of it are there?
Okay, so this started in 2018.
Okay.
And there are 4 arcs so far, 6 issues each. So you can do the math. Okay.
24.
24. With that said, I guess there's only 23 right now. The latest issue has not come out in the latest arc. So we're almost there.
And each issue, like standard, what is standard like? 20, 18,
23
20
pages.
Like that?
23 pages, yep. So yeah, standard length issue. Nothing special there. Like I said, art is stellar. Wonderful looking world. Too many characters. Just gotta say.
Okay, I mean, 23 issues.
Uh-huh.
How many characters are we talking?
Well, here's the thing. It's a global order.
Oh.
You know, with some notable representation in each global theater. We don't go everywhere per se. We've only gone so far to America, the UK/Europe, and Asia, technically very briefly.
What part of Asia are we talking? It's a very
that's
broad, like
that's a great question.
China, India. Technically, the Middle East is Asia. Like what?
I want to say like Hong Kong.
Okay, all right, yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hong Kong is often very mystical and
Yeah.
I've just read. So you said it started in 2018.
Yeah.
And there's only 23 issues.
Yep.
So like,
so
3 a year.
Yeah.
Less than that?
Yeah. Well, it's so each year that it comes out, there's 6 issues. The way this works is that basically they take a year off in between or so, because you don't have the same artist drawing each arc. So, for instance, arc 1 is Olivier Coipel. Then arc 2 is Stuart Immonen. Then arc 3 is Gigi Cavanago. And arc 4 is Dyke Ruan. So in each one, you know, it's a different artist. But I think the actual reason why we take a lot of time off in between in between arcs, because we have like I said, 2018 for the first arc to come out. Then it was 2021 for Magic Order 2, and then 2022 for 3, and then 2023 for 4.
Okay.
So it speeds back up, but I think the actual reason why things take a little bit long is because Mark Millar is probably one of the busiest comic writers out there right now. And that's not to say that, like...
I don't know, Tristan, there's like 4 comic characters. You got Spider-Man, you got Superman, you got Batman.
Yeah.
Like some other... That's it. There's only like 4 characters in all the comics, so I don't know how he could be all that busy.
It's a lot more than that, actually, unfortunately.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, there is a lot more than that.
Well, I mean, like, okay, sure, you got the X-Men, but that's just one comic series. It's not like they each have their own comic. So, again, it's like 4 comics.
Yeah. Sure.
So, is this... Because you were saying too many characters, each arc has a different writer.
Different artist.
Sorry, different artist. Is this like an anthology kind of thing it's going for? Where we like, okay, here's just a bunch of characters for the American story, and then, hey, when we jump to, you know, Europe, it's just a whole different set of characters.
Yeah.
Or is there more of a through line? Because the idea of saying, hey, it's this global magic order, each arc is just a story in this different region with a different artist, and then, you know, because it's a different artist, you know, the writing is going to be a little bit different for each arc because, you know, Mark Millar is going to obviously be influenced by that art, and, you know, the not just in terms of like their art's going to be different, but the way that they might want to lay out the panel, or the way in which their art might, you know, tell that story, where, you know, one artist might be a little more actiony of, you know, hey, a character's fist will flow from one panel into the next is going to affect that. So is it trying to go for that?
No. It has
that is so disappointing.
Yeah, so it's more of a through line. And like the art is very different each arc. So I will say that, like, again, the art is stellar in this book. That's the one takeaway from this. But it's the writing that's the actual problem. And unfortunately, it's not a anthology series. That would make a lot more sense because here's the problem. The series is kind of billed as an anthology series. Each arc is kind of like when you get the first issue, when the first issue comes out, and you get like the blurb as to what the synopsis is for this arc. It's like, oh man, we're gonna just learn all about the European chapter, and now it's all about the Asian chapter. And while that is somewhat true, it mostly boils down to the same main characters doing their thing, and they are the end-all be-all, and that's kind of it.
Like end-all be-all in terms of their powers?
Yep, typically. Well, one of them is anyway. Like the actual main character, we'll get there. So, what this book actually is, Magic Order is about wizards from all over the world that protect the Earth from other sorcerers and warlocks. That's the main elevator pitch.
They protect the Earth from other Earth wizards and warlocks and such?
Typically,
or is it like an other realm kind of thing?
There are actually other realms as well, but the idea is the Magic Order in the past has essentially shut that off. So it's really hard for creatures to get out into the Earth proper unless they are summoned by other wizards into Earth, into like the material realm per se. So like you could have a demon show up, or you could have like a nightmare creature, that kind of thing. But it has to be brought into the world via another sorcerer, wizard, whatever. So that's the main thing with those things. That they do fight some stuff like that occasionally. But mostly it's about wizard on wizard. It's about wizard duels, basically. Essentially.
Okay.
Kind
of. I like that idea.
Yeah, great premise. So the main characters of the story are the Moonstone family. Specifically Cordelia Moonstone. She
I
is...
love the name.
Yeah. You don't love the name?
No. Yeah. It's a little...
This
is going to sound like...
Yeah.
So much... Like I'm punching down on this kind of writing. But that's the kind of name I would expect from a, like, middling webcomic about a wizard family.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I kind of might say my own similar reaction to it. I kind of wish there was a different name. It's not the worst name in the world, but yeah.
No, it's not the worst. It's just it could be a lot better.
I think it's the Moonstone part that throws me off the most. It's a little too like high fantasy, like
it's
D&D
too just
name.
On the nose of like they're a wizard family called Moonstone.
Yeah.
See what you're going for, but like
right.
I don't know, have it be in French, and then I'd be way more like that sounds plausible.
Yeah, like the idea is these are supposed to be fairly real people, right? So like, that is a plausible aspect of the story. But would it help if I told you that Cordelia Moonstone is an escapologist? Like, she's a stage magician as well. So is her father.
So they're magicians.
Yes.
But also they're magicians.
But the two of them are, yeah. There are other... she has two other brothers, too.
Look, try my favorite DC character. My second favorite DC character. My number one is always going to be Etrigan.
Yeah.
But my second favorite is probably
Zatanna.
Yeah, Zatanna. So,
and her father Zatara. Both magicians?
Zatara.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. So I appreciate the idea of, hey, they're magicians, but also they're magicians. That's always funny to me.
Yeah.
So what? Is she like? How old and American?
Yeah. So she is probably like early 20s. An American.
Okay.
She is a notable fuck up.
You're telling me it's a comic series and the main character is a fuck up?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right? So
crazy.
She is depressed. She is constantly without money. She is going against the law a lot of the time. She's not exactly in the right frame.
Going against...
Not like the Magic Order, but like police.
Yeah,
she gets in
does
trouble
this
a lot.
have a word for non-magic world?
Oh, it does.
AKA, does it have muggles? Right.
It does. Get ready for it. Here's the word, Hassan. Normie.
Fuck, that's so bad. It's so bad. Normie is a term that exists in the real... Why would you not have that? Whatever.
I know.
So she's getting into normie legal trouble, you're saying?
Exactly, yes. Like in the first...
What are you doing? You are a fuck up.
Yeah, well... like in the first issue, she's in the back of a cop car, and to kind of show off her escapologist aspects, her escapology, she escapes from the cop car while it's still moving, and they just kind of like watch her in the back mirror as she like walks away to the highway, and they're just kind of like, the fuck, what happened here? How did she get out? It's magic, and believe it or not, it's implied that was actually not like magical trickery. Like that was like actually an escape via an escapologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, it needs a better term than normie. So she used normie abilities to escape the police, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Got it.
So where this story kind of turns into Young Justice, sort of.
Said that.
It's not that bad. I will say. It's not as bad as Young Justice. It kind of gets there a little bit.
Hey, I don't know. I saw season 1 and part of season 2, so as far as I'm concerned, that show is still pretty good.
I'll point out that in terms of the enjoyability of the Magic Order, I think it kind of runs in the same gambit as like Arc 1.
No, Gambit's Marvel. He's not part of Young Justice.
Sorry, Gamut. Arc 1 is really, really good. Like, Arc 1 is like, there's some good stuff there. A lot of really interesting magic is done. We get to see some really cool attempts with, like, different worlds and new characters. It has a bit of a having its cake and eating it too moment as well, which is a little too bad, but it's mostly fine. So, where this kind of falls short, though, is all of the side characters that it introduces, especially in Arc 1, that don't really have much to do, but are billed as extremely important. But
sorry, what exactly is Arc 1? So it's about Cordelia,
Sure.
It's in the U.S.,
Yep.
I assume it's basically going to be the Magic Order needs to stop the evil wizard
Close. Keep going.
Balthazar.
Oh, so you're going to miss. No, so we'll get here in a second, but Arc 1 is essentially about the Magic Order trying to stop a wizard uprising from taking control of the Magic Order. Yeah.
I mean, who elected are the Magic Order elected officials?
Absolutely not, no.
I'm on the side of the uprising people.
Yeah. I can see why it might be. They are pretty bad. They are pretty evil. They do at some
uprising
point.
or the Magic Order?
The uprising. The Magic Order is also pretty fucked up too, but the uprising is the uprising does some bad stuff.
They want to enslave the normies.
No, not at all. They just want to run Magic Order. That's it.
What? I see no problem. They're just power crazed.
Yeah, they are.
Go for it. Who cares? The Magic Order's already power crazed, jerks.
Yeah, true. The way they do it, though, is the actual problem. Like they tend to have this thing where they will kill the people who are in the Magic Order, as well as occasionally to try and kill one of the retired members of the Magic Order. They sent a demon called I think it's called a hemogoblin or hemoglobin, whatever it's called.
That's your blood.
Yeah, I know it's hemoglobin is the blood. It's got a similar name. It's like
Chemo Goblin.
Goblin?
Got it. Go on.
I can't remember what it's called. It's fine. It's a big giant creature that has like spindly arms and it walks around and wants to eat your skin. One of those. They send it into a neighborhood and it just demolishes the entire neighborhood. So that was part of their plan, which I would say is kind of a bad move as part of like, they're bad guys. With that said, I mean, like, for the most part, they don't target anybody outside of the Magic Order until that one point. So,
okay,
they mostly are okay.
So, Cordelia has to stop them.
Yeah.
And then you were saying we have just a big roster of support characters.
Yep. So we have her two brothers and her father in this story as well. So her father is Leonard.
Please tell me they don't do a... it was just my dad and my two brothers, so I grew up to be a tomboy. Oh, Tristan.
Then I won't tell you that.
Which characters? Go on with the character. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I can see why you have problems with writing, but go on.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, just getting to Cordelia's backstory a little bit. She is also a bastard child that Leonard had with one of his stage musicians assistants. One of his stage assistants. He had Cordelia with, and they were going to abort her, but Cordelia used her magic as a fetus to escape the abortion and impregnate the surgeon who was doing the abortion with herself. Yeah.
Just tell me about the other characters. Jesus.
Okay, we have her father, Leonard Moonstone. He's also a magician. We get to meet him in this really kind of like really nice, fun way where he catches a bullet in his teeth.
Okay, all right, sure.
But then he goes backstage and he's talking to his other son, Reagan, and Reagan's like, "Oh, gee, Dad, that was a good trick." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm glad you caught that bullet." And Leonard's like, "Actually, I didn't catch the bullet. She shot me right in the chest." But
that's pretty good.
Kevlar.
What year is this set in?
Like 2018. It's like modern day.
Oh, that means he named his kid Reagan post Ronald. Gross.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yep. Yeah, pretty bad. So Reagan is the owner of a club called Reagan's Titty Bar. He is what you may refer to as kind of your stand-in for John Constantine, if we're going to equate Cordelia Moonstone to Zatanna.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
Yeah, Reagan Moonstone is basically John Constantine, but a little more gay, because John Constantine's bisexual. But yeah, Reagan Moonstone's a little more gay, and owns a titty bar, and is also just a piece of work. He's a very angry character, whereas John Constantine's more of a smooth talker. Like, oh, you did that? Shit, dude. I reversed that yesterday, kind of thing. Whereas Reagan's just like, fuck you! Just screaming and shooting lasers everywhere. He's that kind of a character.
So let me guess, the other brother is basically an angel.
Yeah, essentially. We'll get there, but
all right.
So the other brother is I can't remember his name. He actually doesn't show up past Arc 1.
Okay.
Yeah. But essentially he is the he's the chosen one kind of brother, where he was supposed to be the best of the best, best of the best of the best of the best kind of dude. He starts off that way, and then something happened to him where his daughter died in a magic accident. His name is Gabriel. There we go. So good thing you called him an angel.
Really is angelic, huh?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. He's supposed to be angel. Yeah. So his daughter died during a magical accident. Because his daughter's like, my dad's a fucking wizard. That's so cool. Here's his wand. Here's his spell books. Watch me do a magic trick, my friends. And then she basically blows them up along with herself in the happenstance.
You gotta keep your magic wands under lock and key.
Yes. It's a gun control metaphor.
Oh, it really is. Okay. All right.
Absolutely,
I didn't think it was actually going for it.
It's like
okay,
drawn the same way and everything. Yeah. So those are those are your main moonstones. There is actually another moonstone they don't quite talk about until Arc 3 and 4, named Perditus, and he was actually the firstborn of them all.
Sorry, Proditus?
Perditus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Still very odd name compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, I believe it's I can't remember where the name's coming from. I'm pretty sure it's a Shakespearean play on that kind of name.
Sounds vaguely like it.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that. But yeah. Fun fact, they gave him up to a different world to spark a peace treaty.
Fair.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, nothing but that though. The side characters is what the problem is. So for the side characters in issue 1, just to kind of name some off the top of my head, we have Cousin Eddie, who is the cousin of Cordelia of the Moonstones. We have Mo, we have Willie, Dong Sun, and Edith. Now we know that Mo is kind of a street tough. Willie is a UPS driver. Dong Sun is also a street tough, maybe a private investigator, possibly. And Edith is a librarian. And Cousin Eddie is a shiftless layabout.
Typical Cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
Normie librarian?
No, these are all wizards.
Yeah, no. I mean, she's a she is a magician, but she's a normie librarian.
Yes. One thing I need to kind of point out about this. There's all the characters in the Magic Order, in the Order itself, all have normie jobs and normie lives. And normie...
Yeah, I assumed it wasn't UPS, the magic company.
No, exactly, yeah. So they all have their own non-magical life they go to, and then sometimes they get called in to deal with magical problems as wizards. That's kind of how this works. Now, you may be asking yourself, why don't they just kind of not live this life? And I don't know, maybe get some money?
I was more so thinking, why don't they use their magic to get rich?
Yeah.
Because, I would totally live both lives. Because, look, magic is cool and all, but cell phones.
Yeah,
they're pretty
totally
awesome. I would want a cell phone even if I have magic.
They don't even use them. They don't use cell phones at all in this whole thing. Actually, wait, I think there's one instance of a cell phone being used.
Look, man, magic is not going to get YouTube in my pocket, okay?
I think it might, actually.
All right.
YouTube or in my pocket also.
How does the magic work in this? You mentioned, whichever, Gabriel, his daughter, had the wand and spellbook and killed her. So is it, hey, you're saying something, either a long phrase or vaguely Latin or something, and then you shoot out a fireball kind of thing?
Nope. That would be, that'd be one thing. They just kind of memorize them and then pull the magic out off the top of their heads.
But what are their incantations like?
They don't have any incantations.
So it's just they're going
happens.
Pew 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 with their wands.
Yeah. So here's the thing: there are two ways the magic looks. It's either a crazy laser fight, it's just lasers everywhere, or somebody has I cast a changing spell and now you are this and fuck you and this
is that the only kind, or do they have cool I'm gonna make a giant chunk of ice fall from the sky to try and attack you with that? Is it only laser beams?
No, they can do that too.
Okay,
it's
good.
Typically laser beams though. So
that makes sense, right? It's the sort of thing of ultimately, if you put any logic to most magic stuff, of course it's just going to end up being I could make a giant thing of ice fall, but it's faster than ice, a laser beam.
Yeah, so that makes some sense too. So, but the magic kind of walks this weird line of being both really creative and interesting and also extremely dull. Because sometimes it just boils down to you know the Voldemort Harry Potter fight at the very end of like the movies? And they're just kind of shooting magic beams at each other, and they just connect, and it's like, ooh, gotta push the beam, not this way, that kind of thing. It's a lot of that, like a lot of that.
Look, here's the. As a society, we kind of have to admit, if magic was real, we would just use it in the most boring ways 99% of the time.
Yeah, that's fair. But so it's mostly kind of like that, and then sometimes, sometimes one dude's gonna jump in and be like, "I fucking cast a blood spell on you, and now your blood is rats." And there's just like done. You're dead. Fuck you.
Please just cast a decapitation spell on me. That's so much worse than anything else you could have done, you jerk. It's terrible. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Psycho. Go see a therapist, dude. I don't know what you're up to, but that's just messed up.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So, like, here's the thing. Like, I know, like, that's fucked up. But, like, a lot of the bigger spells where, like, they just kind of, like, insta-gank somebody, it's very instant. Like, there's nothing to stop it. Like, the wizard who it's cast on, just like, okay, cool, I guess I'm dead then. And has no defense against it. That's my big problem with this being a wizard comic, is that you get a lot of JoJo shit where, like, yeah, a guy will just walk in and be like, fuck you, I changed. Here's what we're gonna do. This happens to Dong Sun, actually, in Arc 1. So he's in the middle of helping an old lady, and like, that old lady's grandson kind of like get the old lady through a curse. And the grandson's like, hey, I think that window changed a little bit. I'm pretty sure that molding was supposed to be white instead of brown. And then Donson's like, don't worry, I'm working. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure I also saw the lamp change too. And Donson's like, wait, was the carpet always blue? And he's like, no, it was red. Shit. And he's like, okay, we're in the middle of a changing spell. We're going to die now. Like,
then they just die?
Yeah, he identifies the spell and goes like, oh, this is starting to happen. And what the spell does is essentially it erases the time space continuum for that room and replaces it with a totally different room. And changes everything about that. So including Don Sun, who now just doesn't exist. So he dies that way.
It sounds like the problem is less that, like, the magic is, say, boring, and that sometimes the magic, it at least to me, it sounds like sometimes the magic is just, like, written like more realistically, and so, like, you know, kind of use an analogy, it's basically the difference between, like, oh, John Wick makes a gunfight look awesome and cool, and it goes on for 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, no, a real gunfight lasts 5 seconds.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? And that sounds what its problem is that they just went, oh yeah, sometimes the magic is just, it's going to work how it would actually work if changing spells existed, which is, you're going to realize, oh, changing spells, well, I'm dead. What am I supposed to do? The spell has been cast. It's too late for me to do anything. I'm dead. Yeah,
but, like, is there no way to, like, reverse this or defend against it or anything? Like, that's the problem.
I mean, you know, again, if it's the gun analogy, you've been shot, right? You're looking at the bullet hole, you know, going like, well, that's basically my heart.
I guess so. It just, when it comes down to, like...
It sucks, yeah. You don't want that.
No, you don't want... I want a struggle. That's the thing. Because there, too often in this book, the wizard who just has the crazy spell cast against them just goes, I'm fucking dead, I guess, and just dies. And it's just like, did you not... you could have tried something. You want,
like, Chainsaw Man. Well, I could die, or more chainsaw power, and then I just cut my way out of this.
Or just, like, cast, like, okay, I have a counter curse, or I can try and do this. Like, anything, I just want some effort out of the person being, like, that has to defend against this to actually try and save their own life. Like, sometimes, the curse is too quick and it just takes effect right away. But when it's a changing spell, or even, like, there's one guy named Sacha, and to kill him, what Reagan does is he reverses his birth very, very slowly. He explains the whole thing to him in like long word balloons, and he just like goes like, I'm reversing your birth. Those are your parents over there. I brought them in to do this specifically. So you're gonna go from like a 50-year-old man and reverse in time, kind of like Benjamin Button style, into a fetus and go back into your mother, and then just become a bunch of little cells, and fuck you. And the guy's like, oh, I guess you got me. All right, I guess. So, sure, well, all right, cool. And this guy is supposed to be like an extremely powerful wizard, like extremely powerful. Like the idea behind him is that he's like the Navy SEAL of the Magic Order. Like he's a Black Ops guy rolling in, like fucking things up, hunting down like really secretive cults, and just like getting in there and taking them all out. Like there are rankings for wizards in this book up to like level 30 or whatever, and there's mentions like, no, he's like way better than a 30. And Reagan's like a 20 or something like that. And Reagan's like, fuck you, I cast this curse. And he's like, okay, I guess so. And he just fucking lets it happen.
That just sounds way more convoluted than you need for just using time magic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
you could also just as easily go the other way. Like,
yeah. Well, that happens a lot too. Like, I age you until you're dead. Which happens. But I mean, like, the convoluted aspect of it is part of the fun of what this book actually has. It's just, like I said, I just want there to be some sort of defense to make the fights a little more interesting. Because it's like, pew, 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 and then like, and I fucking curse you to death. Oh, he got me. I should have cursed him first. It just means that anybody who's not like hyper-aggressive loses instantly. Which is most people. Most people in this book are not hyper-aggressive. So, like, yeah. Yeah, so the fights are pretty cool for the most part until these kind of incongruities happen. Like I said, it's kind of like watching a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fight, but like there's no fun back and forth when the big magic happens. Like, just imagine if in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, yeah, you had a stand that could turn a guy's blood into rats, and like JoJo Joestar just took it and died. Like, oh, okay. Because oftentimes you'll have like side characters who've been there for a while are just like, oh, I guess I'm dead. All right.
Hey, at least it solves your problem with too many side characters.
True. They come back a lot.
They come back from the dead?
There's a resurrection spell cast at the very end of the Arc 1. So Arc 1 Arc 1 involves a lot of death. Arc 1 is essentially, like I said, this wizard uprising, led by Madame Albany. What's the guy's name? It says Madame Albany, a shapeshifter named Cornwall, and an assassin they have hired who wears an old Italian hat, cloak, and mask named the Venetian. And the idea is they're secretly, but it's pretty obvious that they are doing it, going out and killing other wizards in the Magic Order to try and take over their spots. And the Venetian is really good at this, and the Venetian is kind of your first like real look into how this like insta-kill magic works. And yeah, he's really good at it, and I think that as a magical assassin, I think it makes sense because he's usually casting the spell from like a distance, like catches you totally unawares. I like that part. I get no problem at all. So that stuff is fine. It's just, yeah. He tends to go into an area and kill off every single side character, including the two other moonstones that don't matter because Cordelia's the only one that really matters. So like he kills off Reagan, he kills off Leonard, he kills off all the side characters I've already mentioned, and then some. Like he does a lot of murdering in the first arc. And then Cordelia Moonstone is like, it doesn't matter. I read the Orichalcum, which is a crazy book from Atlantis. They're all back from the dead. Fuck you guys. Haha. But like, that's a massive faux pas in the Magic Order, because their whole thing is like, hey, we just use like the bare minimum of what we got to try and do what we got to do. Like I said, no wealth spells, no better health spells, no cheats, you know?
Sure.
And no reading the fucking Orichalcum from Atlantis.
Screw you guys.
Yeah.
So then what does that lead into? So I assume brings back, they stop him, and then what, season 2, they just... they fled
2.
the U.S., so now we're chasing them to Europe, where they fled to.
They kill all of them. They murder every one of them. Nobody's left alive in Arc 1, except for like the people that come back to life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is season 2?
Arc 2 is about stopping the uprising of warlock gangsters who feel slighted by the Magic Order and wish to destroy it.
No, it's Arc 1, Tristan.
You
just read Arc 1 again.
I'll skip by Arc 3 because that one's actually different. But Arc 4 is about a wizard uprising from within this time, where the Magic Order members are tired of living their shitty lives and not being paid.
Hey, has the Magic Order maybe considered democracy?
No, it's impossible. Democracy, what's that?
Fair point.
Yeah.
And okay, so why is Cordelia? You said she's our main character.
Yeah.
Why does she have to do it every single time?
So, in the first arc, it's just her left, and the idea is she kind of escapes her fate by pre-reading the Orichalcum, and then using that to bring back all the wizards that were already killed, and then turning the tables on everybody else, because now they have an entire like group of wizards versus their small group. So it's basically a slaughter at that point. And then, like, her father, who was the leader of the Magic Order, is like, I'm going to go off and find my wife that abandoned us.
Bro, you have magic. You tell me you can't use magic to find her?
He does actually eventually try and find her. Use magic to do that. In a really fun way, actually. He summons a demon into his home. After like a long fruitless effort of trying to find his wife, like nothing comes up. He's like, "Fuck, how do we do this?" Because she's also a magician, and she's like,
okay.
she's a magician with like precognitive abilities, so she knows if and when someone's spying on her and all that stuff.
Sure.
But anyway, so what he does is he summons a demon to his home that is like that can't attack him, and the demon's like, I can't help you, man, because like I've been sworn to secrecy on this one matter of your wife. Shalom is missing to all of us. And Larry's like, oh, that's nice. Well, I don't know how long you can hold out, but I have a bunch of box sets of DVDs I've meaning to watch, and my food is stocked up for the next 2 years. And I got nowhere to be, so get comfy. You're here for a while. So he takes 18 months to break the demon. Because he just keeps rewatching Three's Company and shit.
Oh, I thought it was different TV or film or whatever the entire time. And I was going to say,
well, no,
it's
different each time, but
demon, unless the demon actually likes the demon realm, that doesn't sound that bad of just, hey, let's just laze around and eat this whole time.
Yeah, I think it's actually done demons. I think it's a ghost of some sort, but it doesn't matter. It's a pretty creepy demon-looking thing. So like he just breaks the demon by watching television and eating like crappy like Hungry Man meals and all this shit. Just so that ends up kind of like where Arc 4 takes off. But Arc 2,
I didn't realize that they
Takes
were
a
frozen
while.
dinners.
Yeah,
That's gonna change things a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. So anyway, back to Arc 2. So that gang of warlocks and stuff, I kind of wish we focused a little more on them. We do focus on them quite a bit, but essentially they have a guy named Victor Korn, spelled Korne, who is related to the most powerful wizard of the Dark Ages, which the original Magic Order defeated back in the day. And then he's allied with this, I can't remember what they call her, a bewitcher named Aunt Brigida, and this other warlock named Warlock Rog, who is a tracksuit mafioso, but wears a fucking, like, cool, like, warlock golden mask.
Very believable.
Yeah,
in,
right?
You know, the current era of what organized crime looks like.
Would it help if I told you they're Romanian?
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Yeah. Yeah, so the whole thing, of course, is getting together, like, you know, the ne'er-do-wells of the magic world and trying to kill the magic order that way. They almost succeed, and then Cordelia Moonstone pulls off something, and then they don't.
Cool.
Yeah, that's arc 2. Essentially, like, they pull off some stuff with, like, Cordelia and her currently resurrected niece, who was Gabriel's daughter. Spoiler alert, Gabriel was the Venetian. Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, he retired, and then he was like, I'm going to murder my family because I can get my daughter back this way.
It's not the worst writing. I'll give it that.
No, it's actually a pretty good twist. But it's also like him and his wife are in on the whole thing, and his wife is like ready to say fuck the magic order and wants her daughter back. His wife is a normie, so there's that. His wife is also black, and he is not, and that is fine. But I will point this out. So Rosie, their daughter, who they bring back to life, she starts off in arc 1, also like black, and then by the time we get to arc 4, for some reason she's colored white.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
That's a choice.
Yeah, to be fair, she goes through a pretty substantial change as a character by that point.
I don't think personal development changes your skin color.
Not typically, yes. I mean, like, actually, like magical change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're telling me she's gone through some sort of Pokemon-like evolution, then sure, maybe her skin color does change from that.
More so, she's possessed by the spirit of Madam... what's her name? Jesus. Madam Albany, who they fucking just murk in that last issue in arc 1. And Madam Albany latches on to the resurrection and jumps into her soul so she can be reborn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on arc 2 or on to arc 3?
Arc 2 is really good for the most part until the very end. It, like, just misses the landing entirely. Arc 3 is confusing as fuck. Arc 3 is weird. So supposedly, from the synopsis, this is about the Asian chapter of the Magic Order. But that is 100% superseded by everything the American chapter is doing, plus Cordelia Moonstone's bullshit. And the niece, of course. And Rosie.
Oh,
Well,
I didn't think about that. Cool. White
yeah.
Savior. Got it.
White Savior, yeah. So, in comes Sammy Lou, who was mentioned in Arc 2, but he doesn't show up because he's late. Apparently he's a shiftless layabout, but also is extremely wealthy.
All right.
Checks
Seems
out.
like there's a lot of them, which, honestly, not surprising.
Yeah,
you have magicians.
Yeah, he's using magic to cheat. He's using
Because they're all
wealth cheats.
shiftless layabouts. Ha-ha!
Aha! It's true. Yeah, he's using magic to do a wealth cheat. Like, he is 100% just, yeah. But like, he's doing it sneakily, so they don't really notice that much.
Yeah, but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Who cares? Go on.
I mean, they eventually do care. But then it's like, so
Why?
so it's part of the rules. You just can't do that. It's the idea
Money
that
is fictional. It's made up. It doesn't mean anything in reality. It's a dumb societal contrivence that just allows the rich to stay rich.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck them.
I fully agree. Money is fake as fuck.
Wizards.
I agree. But like, these are wizards. Okay. Again, Mark Millar. Okay. Hassan, would it help if I tell you one of the biggest things that Mark Millar wrote that you are familiar with?
Maybe. I don't know. What is it?
Civil War.
Oh.
Yeah. Does that help?
Man, I'll say this. I like Civil War.
Sure.
And then they did a Civil War 2. And I went, look, I'm not saying that's impossible, but boy, that is stupid.
Nobody read that shit. It was garbage.
And also then they did 1,000 other giant events like that, and it completely, retroactively tarnished that thing. But, also Iron Man was right in Civil War. To this day, I am on the side of no, the superheroes should have to be registered with the government, and it should have the ability to regulate them and investigate and be like, hey, we told you to go stop this villain, and we think you did a piss poor job, and you had 6 skyscrapers destroyed in the process of trying to defend him instead of trying to force him outside the city. And not having tens of thousands of fatalities, I was on that side, so...
I think, that's the right side. I fully agree. Iron Man is correct there. But Mark Millar 100% believes that Captain America was correct.
No. Look, especially in a, post us going, man, maybe cops aren't good world. That was very clearly the wrong side.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe it's as if Mark Millar is writing a little bit of copaganda.
Sorry, how does this relate to Arc 3?
So Arc 3, the way this relates. So Samuel Liu is doing some cheats. He is technically a dirty cop. But what he is essentially doing is just cheating enough so that he himself and his colleagues are rich. And then still putting in his time to save the world when he can.
Right. I forgot the magic order. It's right.
They're cops.
They're cops, right.
They're cops.
I completely forgot that part of it.
Yeah. So in Arc 3, though, we explore a little bit of Sammy Liu for the first issue. And then he crops up here or there. And then in the middle of Arc 3, he's gone because we stopped caring about him for the most part, because what happens is Rosie gets kidnapped by this guy Sacha, who I mentioned before, the Navy SEAL Black Ops guy of the Magic Order. He is the only quote-unquote full-timer of the Magic Order. And he kidnaps her because he senses an evil darkness in Rosie. And it's like, hey, kid, I gotta kill you because I'm pretty sure you got a demon or something inside of your soul. No hard feelings, though. So he takes her inside of a book, and then inside more books, to get into a convoluted section of a place where he can kind of kill her using a dreaming god who sends pigfish after things to kill her.
Sorry, pigfish?
That's right.
What's a pigfish?
Like a pig and a fish, but it's also kind of a person. Very Cthulhu, kind of,
Okay.
Yog-Sothoth kind of looking thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, he dies with the full time reverse spell that Reagan casts on him. But during the fight, Sacha, because again, he is a fucking monster magic user. He's a crazy wizard, really powerful. Literally shoots Reagan to pieces, but doesn't harm him at all. And he's like, "Oh, you're fucking tricking out, man. You glitched out." And Reagan's like, "No, nah." And then he comes back in the fight, and his clothes are all torn up, but there's no holes in him. He's not harmed at all. And Cordelia's like, "Hey, I'm pretty you look like you got messed up." He's like, "No, I'm cool. Don't worry about it." So again, Reagan is using black magic. And when confronted about this, Reagan is kind of like, "Yeah, I am using black magic because when I died, I got really scared of dying again. So I decided I don't want to die again. And I went and bought this card from Baba Mama, who is a black magic practitioner, and this will keep me safe from dying again." And they're like, "Well, every time you use this card, it takes a day off of one person's life in the world." And he's like, "Yeah, so?"
Yeah, look, my reaction could be 1 day. Look, if you said 1 year, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe that's not fair. one day off
day.
a person's life, especially 8 billion people on this planet, statistically speaking, you're most likely to be like, this person was going to like die at 82.
Right.
Oh no, one less day. I think they'll be okay.
Pretty sure, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this whole thing happens, and they're like, well, we found this out. What else have you done? It's like, yeah, I've been cheating on with wealth stuff. COVID hit us really hard with the titty bar, so I had to like make money that way. I used magic cheats to get my money. I was sick with COVID, and I healed myself that way as well. All this stuff. I'm like, okay, well, you're excommunicado because we can't trust you anymore. So they do this whole ritual where they give him the tattoo of shame kind of thing.
It sucks for them. Laser tattoo removal.
Yeah, well, it's a magic tattoo. I guess
Dumb wizards know about it.
Yeah, I know, right?
What they get for not, having cell phones.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if only they had cell phones, yeah. Yeah, so they give him a tattoo. They shave his pubes because that's apparently a thing that your adult hair signifies your progress as a wizard. Not my words.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you implying
Yes.
that they're saying he just never shaved his pubes?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
I don't know.
I don't want to hear more about that. Go on.
They're supposed to burn them. Well, and then they break his wand, and then and then Cordelia does pull some weird David Blaine shit here, where Regan's like, okay, Cordelia, just before we go, because I can't talk to anybody ever again after this, let me see one of your tricks. And she's like, okay, cool. And she's like, okay, pick a card. He pulls the card. He's like, okay. And I'm pretty sure the card that you just pulled is the same as the sign of the truck that's driving by. And it's like the 4 of clubs freezers or whatever. And he's like, shit, how did you do that? And I was like, magic. But like, sleight of hand trickery magic, not like wizard magic. And then at that point, like, that is an arc where everybody's like, oh shit. If Cordelia is willing to excommunicate her brother, like her own brother, for doing like just some basic things, like being afraid of dying and using some cheats to keep himself afloat, what is she going to be capable of if she learns about all the other bad shit that we've been doing? Because like, we're not clean. I will point out as well, she also is not clean.
Well, no.
But after she like used
people back from the dead,
yeah,
no way that's okay.
Exactly. It's not. She actually ends up cursing her family because of that. But the other thing is that, like, again, it's not supposed to be done. But she's made leader after she does that, as well as like her, like she has full forgiveness from her father, who was the leader at the time as well. And it's like she got a free ride.
All right, nepo baby.
Yeah, exactly. But like Reagan, no, got to be excommunicated. Fuck that guy. So Arc 4 is all about that, of like the like inner turmoil of like, okay, we gotta do this again. We gotta like hit them where it hurts. So the inner order starts killing itself from the inside out. And so Mo, who was part of the people who got killed in the first arc, puts together a team of the people who are fed up with the way things are being run, and just lays waste to everybody else. And then also turns out he's working with Madame Albany, who has latched herself onto the soul of Rosie. And it's just like, okay, cool. So it gets more convoluted from there. Yeah, it's this arc hasn't ended just yet. It also ends up with Cordelia and her former fiance. I can't remember his first name. His last name is King. Funny enough. And he's a lord, so there's that too.
Oh, that's like a real Full Metal Alchemist, Fuhrer King Bradley situation.
Sort of, yeah. He is essentially a. He's also a. Besides being a magician, he is also a rock star. He's a musician as well.
That'll never work.
Yeah. Well,
vampire rock star is believable. Musician rock star,
no, not so much. He is also a massive like heroin addict and stuff. So
yeah, he's a rock star.
He's a rock star. exactly.
Actually, heroin's not that common, at least amongst the rock stars I've dealt with.
Not really? No. Well, good for them. Meth is it worse?
So I only have 2 questions. We should probably be wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
So I assume there will be an Arc 5.
I think so. It depends how Arc 4 ends.
I mean, does it seem like Arc 4 is going to try and, actually end all of this? Because it doesn't sound like it.
It might. I don't think it will, though. Oh, Francis King is the guy's name. So here's the thing. Arc 4, the way Arc 4 is looking to end, because the final issue is not out yet. It's going to be out later on this month. The way Arc 4 is looking to end, so currently Cordelia and Francis King are trapped inside of a book, which is the book where their uncle Edgar is from, who has had his mind erased because he is actually this wizard king who was the one that they took from the other world and traded off Leonard's son for. So it's like, oh shit, he's this powerful wizard king, and sometimes he actually goes berserk and kills a person. But the thing is, they're there, and Cordelia faces off against her first brother, Perditus, who is the current Wizard King, and all Perditus does has been doing since he was old enough to walk and use a wand is kill guys. He has become a monster of a wizard, just wickedly powerful, super destructive. He ends up killing, he ends up killing the apprentice of Uncle Edgar from aeons ago, and then also kills Francis King. And so Cordelia walks out, and in issue 5, it's like an issue long fight, which is the final, the first time it's a really good back and forth wizard battle with them transforming into different monsters sometimes, and using their powers to try and get the better of each other. It's you turn into a dragon while I turn into this Egyptian god who has stone skin that you can't burn, all this stuff. Back and forth they go, until at one point she gets the better of him, and she grabs him and sinks his head into her own body using an intangibility spell, and kills him via him choking on her own guts.
Very vile. I take it just as whatever comic ratings are. M
it's an M.
Mature.
It's an M, yeah. For sure.
And then...
So now she is the Wizard Queen. She drinks from the cup of Aeons, whatever the fuck, and now she's the Wizard Queen. And she's like, cool, I have a whole fucking army now. We're going to go back to Earth, because the reason why they're there is because Sammy Lou, who doesn't like the whole uprising thing and wants to kind of set it right, is like, you know what? I'm going to pull one on the uprising and try and save Cordelia and Francis using this kind of teleportation spell into the book. And that way they get into the parallel world, so they might have a chance.
Nope, fool's move.
Fool's move.
Can already tell you that.
Yeah, well, it's working. So,
we'll see.
So Sammy Lou's gonna get a pass basically, because he ratted out his fellow unionization workers against the police union basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically where this is at, okay. And yeah, Madame Albany goes back to working as like a grocery store clerk, and it's a whole thing.
All right. I have one last question.
Yes.
I take it no familiars?
No, actually. Okay, well,
Man,
okay. Yes,
we as society have messed up.
I know. I agree.
I want they should each have their own weird, unique animal. Here's the rat familiar guy. Here's the punk rock lady, but she's super into cute, adorable kitties.
Yes.
Here's the guy who's just got an iguana that's always draped over his neck because I want to live that life. God damn it! Why can't I just always have an iguana draped over my neck?
Yeah. Here's the thing. There are people like that in the warlocks and the outer society people. I know.
So much cooler.
I guess you could kind of say that Francis King has a familiar in the fact that his addiction to heroin takes physical form, and it's like this little like purple imp man who's just like, "Ooh, do more heroin, Francis."
Okay, all right, I'm into that. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
It's pretty good. But yeah, beyond that, no familiars at all, which sucks. I agree. We as a society, we live in a society where
Start
no
writing
familiars
more
are.
stuff with witches and familiars.
I agree, man. I'm into that as well. Yeah. So here's the thing with Magic Order. Just kind of wrap this up. It's kind of a story where they didn't, as far as I can say, they aren't really sticking landings that well. And I mean, it's got some heart here or there. And I think what Mark Millar is trying to shoot for is essentially his own Game of Thrones world, because 2018, Game of Thrones was pretty big back then. So, you know.
Final Fantasy 16 just came out, and that game is 100% trying to
Right?
be a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's still popular, even though it ended badly. Less said that, the better.
Hey, House of Dragon, apparently very popular.
I've heard that, actually. Well, I've never watched it, so I don't know. But, yeah, so like you can kind of tell he's trying to make his own Game of Thrones world. Mark Millar is also a comic writer who really wants to write for TV. Really badly wants to be a showrunner for TV. In fact, he has a Netflix show that got canceled, Jupiter's Rising. And Magic Order, surprising nobody, was also optioned for a Netflix show as well, until that was canceled because Netflix is Netflix. So, it was like canceled recently. So, yeah. In the purges. Yeah.
Great. Anything else you want to say about the Magic Order?
So just to kind of recap, mostly pretty good, great art, too many characters, not enough screen time to any of the side characters who actually are kind of fun. Cordelia Moonstone kind of fucking sucks. And then also, the writing is just lackluster and it could use some better fights, in my opinion. Otherwise, not a bad book. I think it's an easy like 2.5 out of 5. You know? 5 out of 10.
Sure. I will take you at your word. Well, on that note, why don't you tell people where to find us?
Whoa! You can find us, at least for now, on Twitter, which is at EIFNAR. Go there and tell us all about how much you love Twitter. Especially if you're Elon. You love it, don't you, buddy?
Don't know that he does, honestly.
He loves it.
His actions say
Twitter.
otherwise.
He loves it so much he bought it for $44 billion, Hassan. He loves it so
kind of.
fucking much. Maybe we'll be on Mastodon. I don't know.
Yeah.
True Social?
No.
I hope not. Anyway, yeah, go to Twitter and tell us how much you love Twitter. Go to our iTunes, Spotify, YouTube page, which is what you're currently watching this on, probably, which is whatever. Go there and, I don't know, rate, comment, do your things, talk to us, share it with your friends. If you find our show and it is like, and if our show is like a magician fresh off a heroin bender, first off, get it some help. Then after that, listen to its cool stories.
You should stop hanging out with people on heroin benders.
What? No, they have some great stories.
No. No.
No?
Anyway, go on.
All right. Well, you should also go to our friend's site, which is djdane.com. That's the guy that does our music, djdane.com. Go there, listen to his great tunes, and I don't know, maybe if you catch yourself at one point in a magic duel, call upon him. He's going to jump in for you, and he's going to cast that son of a bitch right in his, I don't know, gonads or something, and make them too big to fight. They'll explode on him.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
It'll definitely work.
Yeah, he's going to magically give a guy, I don't know, a brain aneurysm. That's a frog. He's going to turn a guy's blood into snails. And then
Andy, that's so messed up. What's wrong?
Eat those snails! That's it.
He's messed up.
Also, some of this shit actually does happen in the Magic Order.
God, Andy, why would you do that?
Yeah, Andy. Why would you? Anyway, that's it for our show. Tune in next time for another Encephalographs episode of I Think It's Fine, I Think It's Ruined. See ya.
See ya.
Say it.